Hey up, it's Steve from Old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to episode 104, blimey, and I'm not getting any better at this, am I? Of Friday Night Appointment with Fear. This week we're doing Let Me In. There it is, on Blu-ray, Let Me In. A remake, I suppose you could say, or another adaptation of the book, Let the Right One In. There was the Swedish version of the film. It was out in 2008, so a couple of years before this. And some say it's superior. I think they're both pretty good. Oh, pardon me, I'm burping already. So that's what we're doing today. But before we start, Baby Ender Dragon's here saying hi and giving us a thumbs up. And Windgrace is here saying beings of the fourth dimension or higher don't need to be let in. No, they could just go wherever they want, I presume. I don't know. Right, so before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Right, we should be live on YouTube, yes. We should be live on Rumble, yes. And we should be live on that Twitch. Yes, we are. Cool, right. What else we're going to say? All right. I'm also on Facebook, X and Instagram. Links in the description for all that, as are lots of other links. Oh, pardon me, a bit the inside of my cheek then. As are lots of other links for my books and merchandise, such as this t-shirt and what else, and other stuff I can't remember. Also, join us in the live chat. You've got to be a member to join us in the live chat, so there, because to stop trolls, which we've had trouble with. Every time I open up the chat, I'm guessing it's one particular troll keeps coming in and causing trouble. But anyway, somebody's got it in for me. In for me. What else? I said memberships, didn't I? Patreon. Right. Hang on. There we go. The Patreon banner. I keep forgetting to do that. I've got a Patreon page, so go and join over there. I will add more things to it, honestly, and stuff like that. So there we go. Right, so let's talk about, I'll leave that there for a minute. Let's talk about Let Me In from 2010. According to Wikipedia, it's a romantic horror film. I wouldn't call it particularly romantic myself. I must be seeing it through different coloured specs. But anyway, it was written and directed by Matt Reeves, based on the book Let the Right One In, written by John the Swedish fella, John Ajvide Lindqvist, or whatever, and also the film Let the Right One In from 2008. Stars Cody Smith McPhee. Well, I've only seen him in this, and I think The Road. What else has he been in? Oh, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. All right, we're in that as well. And X-Men Apocalypse, apparently. Right, fair enough. I've seen him in a few things. Whatever. Chloe Grace Moretz, Elias Koteas, Richard Jenkins, and a few other people. I don't know. Right, so... Richard Jenkins is really good in this, by the way. I'm a big Richard Jenkins fan. And this is a Hammer film. What else have they done recently? What else have Hammer done recently? Because they came back with a bang with this and Woman in Black and films like that, didn't they? And now they seem to have dropped off a bit, don't they? Let's have a look. What they got out recently. Come on, redos, whatever. Oh, crikey. Here we go. Yes, I thought so. The latest thing they did was Dr. Jekyll, starring I forgot his name. That comedian who thinks he's a woman but isn't. Eddie Izzard. Apparently it was rubbish. I've not seen it, but that was the last thing they did in 2023. So they're keeping it on the QT, aren't they, Hammer, at the moment? Anyway. Maybe they overstretched. Right. That's enough of that. Right, anyway. 15 years ago. This film, yes. Right, so what else we're going to say? At a budget of $20 million, which, it's not a huge amount, is it? It didn't do amazing at the box office, to be completely honest. It might have done better internationally. I don't know. Let's have a look. What does it say? What does it say? It doesn't. I don't know. Never mind. I think it did okay, though. I think it did okay. Right. And what else? I don't know. But, right, I've watched the Blu-ray. I've watched it with the commentary from Matt Reeves. I've watched the special features. I've got a couple of notes. Let's see if I can remember it all as we watch the film. Obviously, we're not just going to watch the film, because YouTube are going mental with me. I've had a bit of mixed thingamabobs with YouTube in the last couple of days. I've had a couple of copyright claims, released, and then I've had a couple that have been, disputes that have been rejected. The copyright holder still thinks their claim is valid, and the only way you can get rid of that is like either just trim out that segment where you lose the chat, or what's the other one? Appeal it. In which case you may get your channel taken away from you. So I've just left them. Anyway, and Justin34's here saying, hello, happy Friday. Yes, happy Friday. Right, so let's get this film up. Now then, where am I? Let's do that, and I'll put myself down in the corner, and we'll get the film up. As I said, we're not just watching it in a series of stills. And I'll try and remember what happens in it. I think I might have nodded off earlier on. I've watched it twice today. Once with the director's commentary, and then I watched the film itself. And I think I nodded off for a minute. So I could have missed something. But anyway. So here it is. Right, we're off. Here we go. Here it comes. Overture. I wish films had overtures now. I don't know what the last film that had an overture was. The Black Hole, maybe? No, 1979. Star Trek The Motion Picture, that was 1979 as well. Are there any films that have had overtures since then? Don't know. Right, anyway, off we go. We're going to get the Hammer logo. Go on, I'm sure I saw the Hammer logo. Did I miss it? Or maybe it's not on this. Oh, there it is. There's the Hammer logo. Look, there's Raquel Welch, the late Raquel Welch, from 1 million years BC. I think that's from Vampire Circus. That's from Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires. What else have we got? Oh, they're all changing. That could be Rasputin the Mad Monk. I don't know. That's Dave Prowse. I don't know who he's playing there in a Hammer film. Maybe that's Vampire Circus as well. I don't know. I could be wrong. And what else? I don't know who that is either. But anyway, love Hammer films. Everybody loves a Hammer film. Even though it's not the Hammer of old, but I do love Woman in Black. I think that's a great film. Right, so Hammer Film Productions present. Right, we're off. Let me in. It's a period piece set in 1983. There we go. It's not set in Sweden like the original. It's set in Los Alamos, New Mexico, in March of 1983. And I never knew New Mexico could be so snowy. There we go. We see New Mexico there. It's very snowy. And it's March, so it's nearly spring. Is it usually this snowy in New Mexico in March? I don't know, but anyway. We're seeing police cars and an ambulance barreling down these snowy roads. As I said, you always imagine New Mexico as being like a desert, don't you, and all that, but it's snowy in this. Right, so here we go. They've got a patient, and we learn that he's burned with acid, and, they're trying not to lose him. They're racing towards hospital. There we go. Male, mid-50s with burns over, I think that's supposed to be 99% of his body. Stupid subtitles. Anyway, so there we go. And they get him to hospital. This is where we meet Elias. Is it Elias or Elias? I've heard it pronounced both ways. Cotius, who we saw in... I'm not sure pictures, if we get a view of his face. There he is. We saw him in The Fourth Kind, which we did recently. Can't remember if it were an Appointment with Fear or a Magnificent Mondays. I think it was an Appointment with Fear. It was in The Fourth Kind. Another cool film. He plays a policeman. Who does he play? You know what? I don't know the name of his character. No, it's just called The Policeman. Let's check on Wikipedia. Let's go on to IMDb. Yes, just a detective. He doesn't have a name. But he also is the voice of Owen's father, which we'll see in a bit. Anyway, so here he is. Obviously, he's in charge of the case of this burned man. Wondering what's going on. We learn that he can't speak. He says, "Can I come in and speak with him?" He says, "Well, he can't speak," so he's going to go in and talk to him. And he's asking him if he's a member of a cult because he knows he's been up to something. We see what happens later on. By the way, this is a flashback. We're starting with a flashback in true TV style. He was fighting for his life, whoever this may be. Anyway, he leaves his notepad and a pen or pencil or whatever it is there, in case he says, in case you want to confess anything or give me some information. But anyway, then he gets called away. They was asking him if he's a Satanist, some sort of cult. There you go. So the nurse on reception has phoned up. She wants to talk to him, and then so he goes. There you go. He sees his hand moving towards. Oh, it is a pen. Pardon me, to the pen. So he's on the phone. There we see there's Ronald Reagan there talking away. Don't know what he's saying. Can't remember. Probably talking about the evil empire. So he's talking to the nurse, and then this other nurse goes into the room where the acid-burned man is. And then we hear a scream, and they go running in, and we see that something's happened. He's gone out the window, it seems, and then it cuts to, I think, in a minute. We see, yes, I forgot. We see there's a note saying, "I'm sorry, Abby." He might be dying, but, even if I were dying, I'd be able to spell sorry. I mean, he spelled Abby, right? Says, "I'm sorry, Abby." Even managed his apostrophe, look. Managed his apostrophe in I'm, but didn't put a second R in sorry. Unbelievable. Anyway, so we see that. There's Reagan reflected in the window. "There is sin and evil in the world." I can't do a Reagan impression. I think this could be a visual effect, this reflection. We're seeing him picking up the fella's body. And then we're going to cut to 2 weeks earlier. There we go, 2 weeks earlier. "Eat some now, save some for later," which we'll see at the very end of the film. It's the last line of the film. But here we meet Owen, played by Cody Smith McPhee. I can never remember his name. It is Cody, isn't it? Yes, Cody Smith McPhee, who is Australian, by the way, not American. And they were worried that they thought he was a good actor because they'd seen him in The Road with Denzel. They thought he's a good actor. He'd seen him in something else. Matt Reeves had seen him in something else, and but he'd had an Australian accent in that, so we were worried that he wouldn't be able to play an American kid. But they got him over, and he did it. It was fine, right? So anyway, speaking of Matt Reeves, what else has he done lately? I know he did the Batman. He started off on Cloverfield, didn't he? Let's have a check. And then he did 2 Planet of the Apes films, didn't he? And then what's he done? Then the Batman. Is that all he's done? He must have done more than that, surely. Filmography. Director. Oh, it's 1996. The Pallbearer. That was his first film. Didn't know that. Cloverfield, Let Me In, 2 Planet of the Apes films. Yeah, and the Batman. That's it. Done a bit of TV as well, but not recently. Oh, right. Obviously doesn't need the work. Right, where were we? Cody Smith McPhee. Here he is, sitting outside this where he lives. As I said, it's supposed to be Los Alamos in New Mexico, which they picked that town because apparently the town in the Swedish version of the film, of the book, was supposed to be like a new town, or a town that had sprung up suddenly, so it was a bit sterile and bleak and all that jazz. So that they decided to set this in Los Alamos, which they said, according to this film, according to Matt Reeves anyway, was similar. It was like an artificial town that sprung up around, during the Manhattan Project and all that stuff. So anyway, he isn't doing the Penguin show, not according to Wikipedia. He's probably a producer on it, I imagine. But I don't know. Shall I look again? I'll look again. I wasn't really paying that much attention. I was looking at his movies, not his TV. Just a producer. Executive producer on The Penguin. But no directing or writing on that. On the Batman, he were a director, writer, and producer. Crikey. Is that out? Oh, right. Oh, no, just a producer on that, sorry. A film called Lift, which I've never heard of, this year. But he was just a producer on that. Anyway, I'm waffling again. I forgot what we're talking about now. Oh, Los Alamos, yes. It was a town that sprang up during the Manhattan Project, and the Los Alamos National Labs and all that. So the town sprung up around it. And but for a town full of scientists, essentially, apparently it's got the highest per capita number of churches in America, which is odd, isn't it? Or is it? I don't know. But anyway, that's according to Matt Reeves in his commentary. Right, so here we are. So we're with Owen. Owen's here. Eating his sweet, I can't remember, I forgot what they call them. We see him later on, see him buying them later on. So he's eating them, and then his mum calls him. There we go, dinner time. We never see his mum's face properly. She's a bit like one of the adults in Charlie Brown. Anyway, just drops little bug. Just drops his sweet wrappers on the snow and covers them in this very powdery snow. Round here, snow's very slushy and wet. In Los Alamos in 1983, it's very powdery and dry. Maybe it is like that, I don't know. Anyway, off he goes. In for his dinner, there we go, that's his mum. She's going through a divorce from Owen's dad, so he's not around, but we hear him on the phone later on. But we never see her face properly, because it's supposed to be from his point of view, and apparently kids never see their parents' faces, according to this film. And I'm surprised he didn't make a voice like Charlie Brown from wah, 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 wah. But anyway. But apparently she's religious, so she's saying grace before, not Chloe Grace, she's just saying grace before their dinner. And then she starts boozing, there we go. Anyway, then the phone rings, so she gets up to the phone. You see she's in a nightie. And apparently it's her husband, so she basically starts arguing on the phone. And he's kind of a forgotten child in this divorce. He's kind of been left to fend for himself. He's Owen, and there you go, sees a knife. This is where we get his first clue that he's been bullied at school, because he takes this knife. Don't worry, don't stab anybody with it, but he's practicing in his mirror. And he's got this weird mask that we never see again. And I don't know why he's wearing it, or where he got it from. It's never told, but he's got this weird kind of translucent mask that he's wearing that in reflection makes him look like 11 from Stranger Things, doesn't it? But he's wearing that and he's saying, come on little girl, or something like that. Let's have a look at the subtitles, I've forgotten. Yeah, hey little girl, which is what the bully at school calls him. So he's pretending to stab, the bully, I suppose. But there we go, there's the mask. And I don't know why he's got it. I don't know. It doesn't say why. He's just got this mask. And it's actually a mask. It's actually from a facial mould of Richard Jenkins, who we'll see in a bit. Spoilers, Richard Jenkins is the acid-burned man that we saw at the beginning. What's his character's name? I can't remember. Does he have a character's name? No, he's just called The Father. Just let me check again on here. Thomas. See, IMDb didn't tell us his name, but Wikipedia did. Thomas. It's a mould of his face, and somehow Owens managed to get a mask of it. But it never tells us why he's got this mask or why he's wearing it. I don't know. He's just got a mask of his neighbour's face. Anyway, he's looking out the window, and there he sees others of his neighbours. By the way, he must live in a corner apartment because he's got a window looking that way and a window looking that way. So it must be a corner apartment. And he sees, I think she's called Victoria. One of his neighbours called Victoria. An attractive young lady with her lover and her dog, and he's watching them. I think she's called Victoria. Let me check. Virginia, not Victoria. We're close. Begin with V. Virginia. So he's looking out of his window at that. There we go. She seems to be arguing with her boyfriend, husband, whatever. So she storms out the room. So he decides to go looking through his telescope. It's obviously not an astronomical telescope because things are the right way up when he looks through it. So he looks through another window, another neighbour, a young man, working out. There he is with his weights. So there we go. So then he decides to look back at Virginia, and her chap's coming to apologise, and there's going to be a bit of boobage in a minute. So he's been a peeping Tom, the dirty little bugger. He's only 12, crikey. So he's watching them and gets her boobs out, or one of them, and then she sees him. She looks up, she's like moaning and stuff as love making begins. And she looks up and sees him watching, and he ducks down. So I'm going to have to be quick here, aren't I? Hey, oh, steady on. And she looks up, and so he ducks down really quick, so I don't want to be seen. And then he hears a car pull up through one of the other windows. Oh, he looks out again, and then they're drawing the curtains. Hang on. There you go. They're drawing the curtains. She'll be saying, that creepy kid's watching us again. Go have a word with his mother. Anyway, he hears a car, so he looks round and sees a van arrives. A U-Haul van arrives with Richard Jenkins and Chloe Grace Moretz. So we've got Thomas and Abby arrive. They enter stage left in a U-Haul van. And all he seems to bring out is this big box or trunk or whatever you want to call it. And she's walking in front of him. And we notice that she's got nothing on her feet. There you go, she's barefoot, kind of Hobbit style. Anyway, then he watches them through the peephole in the door, because, as I said, he's a bloody peeper. And we learn that they're moving in next door to Owen. Right, there we go, I'm going again. Somebody mentioned, there we go, Tarantino, who mentioned earlier, by Wyn Grace. He'd love this film, wouldn't he? Anyway, even though she's only a kid. Right, next day, I presume, is out there. It looks up at the people that have moved in, Thomas and Abby's flat. It notices the windows are being covered up. That's weird, isn't it? I wonder why. Then he sees Virginia. Does the boyfriend have a name? Maybe it's Larry. Because he's under Virginia in the IMDb. We'll say he's Larry, we see Virginia and Larry walk by, and he smiles, and she gives him a look. So, I know you're looking at me. I've seen the original version of the film, the Swedish version, and I can't remember what happens. I've got it on DVD somewhere, and I can't remember. I don't know, it might be Mandela effect in it, but I seem to remember she kind of got a kick from. It's not called Owen in the Swedish one, but got a kick from him watching. I'm sure that happened, but I could be wrong. It's a while since I've seen it. Anyway, right. So they're at school now because it's America. They've got to pledge allegiance to the flag. You've got to brainwash your kids, haven't you? We didn't do any of that when I was at school because I'm not American. But I mean, we never sung the national anthem or pledged allegiance to the Queen or anything like that when I was a kid. But we did have to sing hymns in what we called assembly at school. But anyway, I don't think they do that anymore now. Anyway, there they are. Good little Americans pledging allegiance. Right, this is... I've forgotten his name. Bloody hopeless at names. I am. Kenny. It's Kenny. Who's the bully? He's the bully that picks on Owen, and that's one of his mates. I don't know. I don't know his name. But anyway, so he's got his eye on him. So he's going to pick on him later. Anyway, then we cut to the pool. For some reason, he's not going in the pool. I don't think he can swim, so maybe that's why. But he should be learning to swim. I couldn't swim. I still can't swim. But still had to go to the bloody swimming classes, even though I never learned to swim. Couldn't get the hang of it, or the float of it. But anyway, so he's watching from the benches. That's Mr. Zorik, is it Zorik? Something like that. Yes, Mr. Zorik, played by Richie Costa, who's the PE teacher. Phys ed, I think you call them over there. Anyway, we become PE teachers. Or games master. Not in video games, but anyway. He's been naughty in the pool. There he is, as Dylan, twanging the bikini straps of some poor girl, and he gets told off for it, and it makes him smile. Look, it makes Owen smile, and Dylan sees it, so he's in trouble. He shouldn't have smiled, but anyway. So they're going to get him now in the locker rooms. They all get him, gang up on him. There, he flicks him with his towel. Says, ow, and then they get him, and they're going to give him a big wedgie. There we go. There we go. It's giving him a big wedgie. I've never been wedged. Does it really hurt? I suppose it does, doesn't it? But anyway, it's wedging him. And then he wheezes himself. And that makes him go. So it worked, didn't it? If you've been wedged and you're on the floor, wee yourself. It'll make him run away. So, right. So that's embarrassing for him, poor kid. Anyway. Right, so here we go. It's at the this is the pharmacy apparently, but it's got like sweets and game machines and all sorts of stuff, video games and all this stuff. The pharmacy, but anyway, does he buying his sweets? Now and later sweets. Are they real? I don't know, but that's what he's buying. Now and later's, and some what are they? Atomic something or other, which is appropriate for Los Alamos, isn't it? Atomic drops. I don't know. Anyway, so he's buying his sweets and he's paying. He's going to get his money out. Not yet. There we go. Paying with a crisp $20 note. And we're thinking, this kid who seems to be he's not in a well-to-do family. Where's he got $20 from? We find out later. Where he's getting his money from. You'd think his mother had noticed because he's stealing him. He's stealing him from his mother's purse. So he's not an innocent little child. He's a thieving little get. All right, Wingo says, yes, they're real. Very good. There he goes, paying with $20 for his sweets. And he also notices, by the way, sees a couple making out by the Ms. Pac-Man, which we'll come back to later. Ms. Pac-Man, not them two. And he's going to buy himself a penknife. I can't remember which one. We call them pen knives, pocket knives, whatever you want to call them. There he goes, buying that one. So now he's practicing with it on a tree. There you go, saying, "Are you scared, little girl?" So there he goes, stabbing the tree, and then the camera. We saw there were nobody on the climbing frame. Were they atomic fireballs? Those are yummy. Okie dokie. So there were nobody on there. He did it in one motion. There was nobody there, and then when it moved back, Abby's standing there, barefoot again. I don't know why she doesn't wear shoes. It never tells us why she doesn't wear shoes. I don't know. She just says she doesn't get cold. That don't mean she shouldn't wear shoes. But it doesn't explain it. I can't remember if it does in the Swedish version either. I'll have to dig it out and watch it. And maybe do a video on it. I don't know. Anyway, she's saying, "What you doing?" He says, "Nothing." And he says to her, "What you doing?" She says, "Nothing," and all that. He says, and then she says, "I can't." He says, "You've just moved in, aren't you? Next to me, whatever." And then she says, "I can't be your friend." And he says, "Oh, why?" He says, "I just can't. It's just the way it is." And then she goes, and he says, "Well, maybe I don't want to be your friend." And that's it. So that's their first meeting. There you go. Who said I wanted to be your friend? So then he carries on stabbing the tree, and then he eats some more of his whatever he's eating, and then then he makes eye contact with Thomas, who comes out smoking a cigarette. We see he's got a big bag, so he's off to do something. There he goes. He's off to do something with his big bag. And then we see where he is. He's by I can't remember where he is. Some supermarket, I think. There we go. Martin Bros. Presume that's a supermarket. I presume. So he's got his eye on somebody. Yes, it must be some, because he comes out with this chap. Comes out. I think it's a chap. Comes out with a big bag of stuff. Now he's going to show it. There we go. Big brown. What is it with even your brown paper bags full of shopping? I suppose it's better for the environment, I suppose, than plastic bags in it. But never mind. Right. So, yes. And we see that while he's been in the supermarket, Thomas has snuck into the back of his car. So he sets off driving. There you go. There's Thomas. He puts a black bin liner over his head when he's getting people. What is now basically he's out hunting for blood. Pardon me, for Abby, because Abby's a vampire, in case you didn't know. And apparently they were trying to find out a way to do a mask for him. And it was Rich Jenkins' idea. Says, why don't I just stick a black bin liner, it probably didn't say black trash bag, over my head and cut eye holes in it. So I said, yeah, that's a good idea, that. We'll do that. And like I say, it's kind of creepy and effective, rather than just do some elaborate, Michael Myers style mask, or the mask that blooming Owen has. Anyway. It's a movie trope, is the brown paper shopping bag thing. All right. Although they banned plastic bags here right before COVID. You have to bring your own reusable ones now. Yes, they did it here, a few years ago now. You can still buy it. They used to give them away free, when you went shopping. You got free, standard, we call them carrier bags, black, not black, shopping, plastic bags with handles on. But now you've got to pay for them, even the rubbish ones. Anyway, so there you go. So they're a big joke about now people are super rich because they've got a big stash of plastic bags under the sink that they could sell. Anyway, that's by the by. Right, so he just sits up in the back of this chap's car, and obviously doesn't check his rear view mirror because he doesn't notice him. But he pulls up at a level crossing, what we call them there, I don't know, where the train goes by. And as the train goes by, he gets him. If he kills him or knocks him out or what, I don't know. But then we cut to him. He's in the woods now, and he's set up some elaborate pulley system because he's hoisting this poor chap up, and then he slits his throat and like so, and lets the blood drain down into a big plastic bottle. So there we go. So that's what he's doing. So then when that's full, he picks it up, but there we go. Something happens. He takes a step, starts walking, takes a step and falls. He should have put a bloody lid on it, shouldn't he? I mean, it's not rocket science, is it? Little screw top lid. I mean, it's a plastic bottle. Didn't it come with one? Obviously not. Anyway, he drops it. There he goes. Falls and he drops it. He goes skidding down the hill. So he goes chasing after it. By the time he gets to the bottom of the hill, it's all glugging out, is the blood. So he just picks it up and goes away. He sees there's a snowplow or something coming. So he hasn't got Abby her blood. Maybe he got a bit that were in the bottom, but apparently she's not happy with him. Because Owen comes home and he goes into his room and he hears shouting. This is Owen's room with his moon poster on the wall, and he hears shouting from next door. This kind of a deep man's voice, and it turns out that that's Abby shouting at Thomas. There you go. Do I have to go in there and do it myself? And there he is. And he's tired. He's tired, is Thomas. He says, look, maybe I'm getting too old or too slow, or maybe I'm just tired. And, she's raging at him in a weird voice. So he's like thinking, what's going on next door? Right, school again. And the police are there. We're going to see the policeman. In a minute, there he is. He arrives, and it turns out the kid that were killed yesterday was, a former student of that school. So they're telling everybody at school to, watch out for strangers and stuff like that. Meanwhile, Kenny and his mates are giggling for some reason. So there you go. Right. So anyway, that evening. By the way, it's all in where he lives. They've decided to go with the night shots. It's like the sodium vapor street lights that gives it that yellowish tint. That's why everything looks yellowish. Anyways, doing his Rubik's cube. I bet Wingrace can do a Rubik's cube like that. I bet he just goes, but it's done. Bet he can. I can't. I could do one side and that's it. Anyways, doing his Rubik's cube. Then Abby arrives again. And they start talking, and she says she wants to sit there, and he says, well, I were here first. I've lived here longer than you. Then she asks what that is. He says, a Rubik's Cube. And she likes puzzles, apparently, so he lends her it so she can have a go, tells her what to do. Weird, she doesn't know what a Rubik's Cube is in the 80s, but anyway. There we go. This is where he asks, aren't you cold, and she says, I don't feel the cold. Doesn't mean you shouldn't have shoes on. Protect your feet, love. Anyway, like I say, she must be a hobbit, but without the big feet, big hairy feet. By the way, I was told, speaking of hairy feet, if you've got hairy toes and stuff like that, it's a good sign, apparently, if you're a man. Because I went for because I'm a big fat get, I'm a diabetic as well, type 2. And I went for me check, and they check your feet and stuff, and she said, at least you've still got your hairy toes, that's good. Means I'm getting blood through. Anyway, so I'm not going to lose my leg due to diabetes. Anyway, so off he goes, he gets called in for his dinner, lends her that, and we hear her stomach starts growling, and she drops the Rubik's Cube in the powdery snow. Is it going to show it? It's very powdery snow. Is she going to drop it in a minute? There we go, that's where she's pains in her stomach. Hang on. Go on, she's going to drop the Rubik's. She might have done it already. Let's go back again. There we go. Very dry snow. Look. It's like bloody desiccated coconut, isn't it? More than snow. But it's delicious. So she's going to go and get herself look, more. There we go. She look round then. There we go. More very dry snow. Why don't they just use real snow? I don't know. But anyway. Right, this chap, I think he's the neighbour who we saw working out, because it's still in that area. I think those are the buildings where they live. By the way, I think this is a visual effects shot. The 200 and something of visual effects shots in this film, apparently, according to Matt Reeves. I think this is one of them. This is a real tunnel that's in Los Alamos, but the buildings are actually in Albuquerque. So that they've combined them, and I don't know, probably CG trees. I don't know in the foreground, but anyway, maybe. So anyway, I think this is the neighbour that we saw working out earlier. He's jogging down into this tunnel that Matt Reeves described. He thought it was spooky because it looks like a birth canal or esophagus. Make your mind up, mate. Anyway, there you go. We hear Abby saying a wee voice saying, "Help me!" And there she is, crouched down. And he goes to help her because he's a good lad. And she says, "Can you help? I live round here. Can you pick me up?" And all that. But then she gets him. There we go. By the way, they're totally CG, these figures, by the way. Once the attack begins and she's getting him, she's entirely CG. So she's getting this fella and basically killing him. There she's. We're going to get to look at There she is in her vampire form. I don't think she has big teeth. I think she just rips people's throats out. She doesn't have vampire teeth, I don't think. But she's got spooky eyes. Anyway, and then she breaks it. He's not dead, so she finishes him off. Right, Owen. He's watching the neighbours again. Because he's a peeping Tom. He thinks he's Jimmy Stewart in Rear Window, doesn't he? And he looks over at the other where the lad were working out. He's not in for some reason. I wonder where he could be. Sci-fi Quest is here. Says this is a great movie. It's all right. I don't mind it. The original's good as well. But it's a while since I've seen that, which I've said earlier on. Anyway. Right. Here's more commotion from next door. This time it's Thomas who's shouting. There we go. He's shouting at Abby, saying, "You expect me to clean it up now?" Because obviously he's got to go and sort out that body that she's left. And he's not happy, and he swears at her. Calls her, an effing bee and all that stuff. So we see him going out, and then he's looking for his keys, and anyway, then he's dragging the body over here. It's like there's like a lake with some pipes flowing into it. And he's going to just chuck him in the lake, and he's going to use one of these. It's got like safety rope or something, so you don't fall in or whatever. So he cuts the rope, and he's taking one of the poles, which we'll see again later on. This very pole, actually, I think, it was one of them to shove the poor lad down. I don't even know if he's got a name. Has he got a name, this neighbour? Could be Jack. Because there's a Jack there. We'll say he's Jack, eh? Yeah, we will. Yeah, poor Jack. Anyway. Pushing him under the freezing water. And anyway. Right, so next day... Owen comes down. He finds the completed Rubik's Cube on the climbing frame. So he thinks, right, cool. Obviously, Abby's not about because it's daytime. Then he goes to school, and there we see the kid that we got, the first one, by Thomas. It was obviously called Scott. So the memorial things are out on the fence. Right, so that's that. Then after school, it's dark. She's there waiting for him. There you go. He says, "I don't know how you did this," because obviously he's never been able to do them. It's much like me. And she says, "Yes, I like puzzles." And this is where he's asking how old she is. She says 12, more or less. And he says, "I'm 12 months, 12 years, so many months and so many days." And we learn that she doesn't celebrate her birthday because she doesn't know when her birthday is. And but obviously we know she's a vampire. We know she's, I don't know, hundreds of years old maybe. And but obviously Owen doesn't know that yet. He just thinks she's the weird girl from next door. By the way, she might not be a girl. She keeps saying it in the film, actually. She says it a couple of times, "I'm not a girl." And we're supposed to think, yes, because she's a vampire. But apparently in the book, I've not read the book, but apparently in the book, Abby, or Ellie, as she was in the first film, and maybe the book, I don't know, were actually a boy who, when she turned into a vampire, were castrated as well. Just to add insult to injury. So, and in the Swedish film, you see the scars, and it kind of hints at it in this, but you don't really see it. But anyway. Right, so he's back at school. She's going to show him how to do the Rubik's Cube. So they're becoming friends now. Even though she said, we can't be friends. But they are becoming friends. And I'm thinking, with what's happened with Thomas, she's got her eye on, from now, she's got her eye on Owen. As a replacement for Thomas, that's what I think. She's not really his friend, I don't think. Even though there is a certain amount of affection there, which I suppose you've got to have if you're choosing a companion. But anyway, at school next day they're showing them Romeo and Juliet. Franco Zeffirelli, is it that one? Romeo and Juliet. So they're all bored to tears, as I would be. Look, she's enjoying it. She's not. What's he smiling at? Must be a Shakespeare fan. But Owen is working out Morse code. As it shows. There we go. Working out Morse code. So what he's gonna do is him and Abby are gonna communicate through the wall in Morse code. Might just use a glass or something as a hello. But anyway, because I can't imagine them walls are very thick. He's been naughty. He's Kenny. He's got like like one of them, an old car aerial that used to pull out. They don't have them anymore, do they? He's been plaguing the kids. That's why he's smiling. So he's prodding people with it, and then he sees what Owen's up to. So he don't like Owen, does he? Owen's obviously having a wee. So they come in and pick on him. And there we go. It says, "What were you doing? What were you writing?" He says it was nothing. Show me. And just picking on him. And then he starts hitting him with his. There we go with that, and he gets him across the face because he won't show him, what he was writing. But anyway, so he basically, bullies him again. Right, so that's where he got him. He says, "I fell down in the playground." And his mother's got her pyjamas on already. Right, so he's out talking to Ellie. He's telling her the Morse code thing. I made one for you and one for me. The Morse code legend. 80s, whatever. In Morse code, so they can talk to each other through the wall. But little does he know that Ellie's room is not next to his. The room next to his, the next apartment, is actually Thomas's room. And we're going to see Ellie boot him out in a minute. Anyway, she finds his book. They watched Romeo and Juliet. They also got to read it. So he's reading that. So he's saying it's boring. But we see him reading it again later on. So maybe he does enjoy it. But anyway. So this is where she's telling him, you've got to fight back. And, in a minute. But first, they're asking about parents. He says they're getting a divorce, his parents. And he asks about her parents. Says, where's your mum? And she says, my mum's dead. Never asks about his dad. Or her dad, should I say. Never asks about her dad. I think he assumes, yes he does, he assumes that Thomas is her dad. So that's why I don't ask. But she says her mum's dead. That's where she's asking him about that. And he tells her that, it was some kids at school that did it. And he says, you've got to fight back. That's what she says. And then he says, if they hit you back, hit back harder and all that stuff. And he says, if you don't fight back, it'll just carry on. And then they hold hands. Tell you, she's got her eyes on him. And it's not romantic, despite what bloody Wikipedia says. It's not a romantic horror film. She's, using him. She needs a protector, doesn't she? And she knows that Thomas is not going to be around for much longer. Anyway, right, so here he's going to start tapping away on his wall to her. But this is where we find out that this was Thomas's room. I don't know what he's doing there. I don't know. But anyway, she just says to him, I need this room. Move. So, she's in charge, isn't she? No affection left there anymore, is there? Although, I think there is a little bit, but the years have been hard, especially on Thomas. Because we see later on he's been with her for a long time. Right, he's going to see Mr. I forgot his name. I forgot the bloody PE teacher's name. Mr. Zorrick. He's gone to see Mr. Zorrick. He wants to do, after-school training. He says, you come back at 4, we make you strong. Because he's Eastern European, is Mr. Zorrick, obviously, with a name like that. So, he says, cool. Right, so that's what he's going to do. Right, meanwhile, back at home. What's happening now? He's stealing money from his mum's purse. There we go. So where we get... Probably the best look, maybe, that we get of his mother on the driving licence, even though it's all scuffed. We see a reflection in mirrors and stuff a couple of times, but not for very long. So because this is better than Let the Right One In. I think they're different enough to be, to be equally good myself. I like Let the Right One In. It's just in Swedish, but I think it's a good film. Anyway, so here he is stealing 20 bucks from his mum. Why has she got all these $20? Isn't she noticing her money's disappearing? Maybe not, because she's too busy getting drunk on wine, isn't she? And pretending to be religious. She's got a picture of Obi-Wan Kenobi on her mirror. Anyway, right, so he's taking, Owen is taking Abby to this pharmacy that's got video games and sweets and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, and he's going to play Ms. Pac-Man because golf and space wars and track and field are all occupied, it seems. Nobody wants to play Ms. Pac-Man. Because it's shit. Anyway, I never liked Pac-Man. Anyway, so he's playing it, showing her what to do and all that stuff. They're all having fun. And then he goes and buys some more now and laters. Or is it nows and laters? Whatever. Buys some more of those. And he offers some to Abby. She says, no, I don't want any. And he says, all right, suit yourself. And he says, oh, maybe I can have one. So she tries one and then immediately throws up outside. There we go. She goes running out. There you go, little pharmacy, look. Anyway, she goes running out, throwing up. So she says sorry. And then he gives her a big hug, because I think he likes her. But as I say, she just wants a replacement for Thomas. This is my interpretation. It's not Matt Reeves' interpretation, by the way. He thinks it's all romantic, and he wrote the bugger. But I think he's wrong, even though he wrote it. Based on the book and the other film. Right, so there they are. Being all huggy. Right, so anyway, I was asking the questions about where they're from. She just says we move around a lot. She doesn't really say where they're from. And then they go a bit holding hands again. It's not romantic. She needs him to be her slave for the rest of his life, basically. Anyway, then mother calls. You promised you wouldn't leave the courtyard. Says I've been here the whole time, and they haven't. They've been to the bloody chemist, haven't they? Playing Ms. Pac-Man and throwing up. But it's dinner time, so he's got to go in. And he looks round and she's gone. But it's all right. She's there. Look, saying good night. So she goes in into their apartment. Of course, he thinks it's romantic. He keeps shoving Romeo and Juliet into it. Yes. That's it's a bit, what's the word? Obvious. Obviously shoehorned in, isn't it? Justin says they're both pretty good. Yes, they are. I think they're both good films. I think they're both equally good in their own way because they're different enough, to not be, totally compared with each other. But anyway. So Thomas is getting ready to go out. He's got his big bag. Look, he's got his big bag and his big thing with his funnel. And I wonder if he's got a lid for his bottle this time. Anyway, there she goes. She says, "You going out?" And he basically says, well, have I got any choice? So he didn't stick a stake through her heart. I don't know if that's part of the law in the vampires in this, but they've got to drink blood. They can fly, apparently. They can't go out in daylight because they'll die, and that's about it, really. Don't know about garlic or crosses and stuff like that. Maybe they don't affect her. Or stakes through the heart. I don't know, but anyway. And he seems a bit fed up. Like I say, it's coming to the end, isn't it? This relationship between them two. He looks fed up. I think he's just tired. Decades of basically looking after Abby. But she gives him a hug. And I wonder if this is the first time she's done this for a long time. There you go. And she touches his face and that. And that's showing that there used to be a lot of feeling there between them. And, tell you, my brain. They used to love each other, basically. But not in a sexual way, which is the way I interpret it with her and Owen. That they both become like, they both love each other, but not that way. But anyway, more of a best friend sort of thing. Anyway, this and Kick-Ass is why I like Chloe Grace Moretz. She's a good actress, Chloe Grace Moretz. She's quite good in Carrie, even though the film itself wasn't amazing. She was fine in that. I can't think what else I've seen. I mean, off the top of my head. Anyway, I'm sure she's been in plenty of other things. Anyway, so there you go. She's caressing his face, and he says to her, "Don't see that boy again," because I think he knows that Thomas. Oh, I bit the inside of my cheek again. I'm going to have an ulcer there now. He says, "Don't see that boy again," because I think he knows she's eyeing up Owen to be Thomas's replacement. I think he knows. He realises what's going on. He's not long for this world. And if what happens next hadn't have happened, I think he'd have made it happen sooner rather than later. But anyway, so this is where he says. So off he's gonna go. There you go. He's got his. He still ain't got a bloody lid for it, has he? He's just got the funnel shoved in. Get a lid. Go out and buy a carton of milk and just swap the lid over. Or a bottle of milk, not a carton. Anyway, right, so off he goes. All right, we're still with him. We're still with Thomas, and he's at the gym, and he's got his eye on somebody. Somebody goes into the gym, so I'm guessing he's gone into the gym, probably done an hour in the gym, whoever this lad is. And it's given Thomas time to basically get into his car. There you go, we see him behind the seats. In he goes, and he's just about to set off, this young lad. And then his mate arrives, and like Thomas is like, ah. And it's a good job there's only one. Good job there's not a gang of them all piling it back. They'd have found him instantly, wouldn't they? But mate, that's not what happens. Tell it's the 80s, look. He's got one of those tree things, air fresheners. You still get them. Anyway, Sci-Fi Quest says she has a wide range talent. The Peripheral was great. I've not seen that. That's that series, isn't it? That's on Amazon. I've not seen it. Mother Android as well. Oh right. I've just seen that on when I was checking earlier on. I was checking on Matt Reeves' filmography, and he was a producer on that. Which I've not seen that either. Anyway, there you go. So his mate comes and he gets in the car and just dumps his gym bag, on top of Thomas, who's just lying there, thinking, "Don't see me, don't see me." Anyway, off they go, driving away, and they end up at a gas station. Hang on. I have a tree in my car right now. Not the one that fell on your car. Is that what you're trying to say? The one that fell on your car. That's not funny. Or do you mean you've got the tree air freshener? I've got an R2D2 air freshener hanging in my car. I've had it for years. Obviously, it don't smell anymore. But anyway, right, so, where were we? There he is with his black bin light. I don't know what this is he's holding there. I don't know. Is it like chloroform or something? I don't know, but anyway. So, they end up at a gas station. Here we go. So, there we go. You need gas. So, the original lad, the driver, goes out and does the gas thing. And the passenger's just sitting there, decides to have a cigarette. So this is where he thinks, this is my chance. Oh, no, it reaches round to get his bag, and then he notices Thomas's feet, and then he looks round, and Thomas gets him, attacks him. They have a fight, and you can see the commotion. Oh, hang on, I'm going too far. Hang on. There you go, see him fighting in the car, through the window. J.J. Abrams thing coming up, by the way. Because Matt Reeves is, he's a Bad Robot alumnus, isn't he? So we've got a J.J. Abrams reference there, with the Slusher, which is always in J.J. Abrams stuff. No, a black eye scented one. All right, it's not the actual tree that fell on your car. Right, so he's going back out, and as he goes out, he sees a couple of his mates. There they are. You can see he's got his slusho there. Look, made from. Oh, we did Cloverfield, didn't we? And I forgot what it was made of. Something like Ocean's Nectar or something like that, isn't it? Anyway, as they're coming out, Thomas gets behind the wheel of the car and drives away. This is where we get the car crash scene. In a minute, there we go. Starts driving off. So now we're seeing Richard Jenkins behind the wheel of the car, reversing out. This is actually Richard Jenkins, but he's not actually driving the car. They've got a stunt driver on the roof, facing the way they're going, and he's driving the car from up on the roof. Obviously, lots of cables and stuff and all that stuff going on. Probably this stunt probably cost $19 million of the $20 million budget, I imagine. But anyway, so they're reversing away. This is all in camera. Throws his slushy at him, and then so as he spins the car round, the stunt driver spins the car round. There's like a handbrake turn. Hang on, I'm too far. Is it coming up? There we go. There's the handbrake turn, whatever you want to call it. Then, so I think now, as his head goes down, when it comes back up, is a stunt man. And now we're in a fake car that's on a gimbal or a rotating thing, and the outside is just blue screen. And as it rolls down the hill, you can't see the bloody join, can you? Let's say it goes from Richard Jenkins to a stunt man. I can't see the join. Anyway, what's happened is reversed down through a fence. I think he's hit a lamppost, reversed through a fence, rolling down the hill. So the car's rolling. They just basically rolled the car with the stunt man in and a dummy for the other chap. And anyway, and down it goes. Lands on its roof. And so now he's caught now, basically, in it. The lad's dead. The Fifth Wave was good. Can't remember if I've seen that one. It does ring a bell. Keep up, they make a sequel. Which was the Fifth Wave? Can't remember. Anyway, they all come to investigate, and so he's trapped. Is Thomas, and this is where he gets his acid out. Don't know why he's got acid with him. I don't know. It doesn't tell us. But he basically douses him because he knows he's going to get caught. So he's basically trying to kill himself, but he don't want to be identified, I presume. So he douses himself with acid, and then we hear him screaming. Is he going to do it? Is he going to show it? There we go. He's getting his acid out, and there we go. Psst, douses himself in acid, and to kill himself, but he doesn't die, as we learn. And this is different to what happened in the original film. I think in the original film he just got cornered in like a locker room or something like that, didn't he, in the original film? And I can't remember, did he acid himself in the original, or did he just set himself on fire? I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it. But they thought they'd do a dramatic car crash in this one. So obviously now is where the film begins. They call an ambulance and the police, and they're rushing him to hospital. They said, this man has killed my friend and he tried to drive away. Something's going on, But that's why the police are involved. Anyway, right. Owen's at home. And look, he's thinking, I'm in love with Abby. And she's like, he's going to replace Thomas. She don't care. Then we hear on the radio, an unidentified man has been arrested. She's listening to the radio for some reason. Probably knowing she'd hear about it, the local station. Anyway, so she knows that Thomas is in hospital. There we go. Self-inflicted acid burns. So she's going to go into the hospital and ask about him. Barefoot. Why won't she wear shoes? I don't get it. Anyway, so she's asking, has my dad been brought in here? He were in an accident, and she says, what's his name? And she says, she tells him where the latest person that they brought in is on the 10th floor, but it's restricted. But then she says, oh, it doesn't matter. And then she goes, and then the nurse notices she's nothing on the feet, and she goes, oh, poor love. And she goes outside. And she goes, sweetie. But she's nowhere to be seen. But if you look round here, she's clambering there. She's clambering up the wall. There she is. There she goes up the wall. There's Abby. Because she's not only a vampire, she's Spider-Man. By the way, this building that they filmed this, I don't know if it was a hospital, I can't remember. I think it was only like 2 stories tall. I think, or 3. I think it ended about there, did the building, so they digitally added more floors to it. Because it's supposed to have 10 floors in it, at least. Anyway, so she's going to climb up there. She climbs up to Thomas's room, where he's not feeling well. And she taps on the window. And he comes over, he gets out of bed, and he comes over, look, he's all burned in an acid way. And he opens the window, and I think she says, can I come in? And he says no. He don't say no, he shakes his head, I think. So, there we go. So, she don't come in, but he gives himself over to her, because he knows he's going to die, so he wants to die at her hand, so he allows her to bite him and drink his blood. So she does that. There we go. And then he, I don't know if she throws him or if he just throws himself, or it's just, I don't know, the weight of his body when he dies, I don't know, but down he goes. Down he goes. And this is what we saw at the beginning. She goes in, screams, goes running in. Oh no, he's been splattered. And they go, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. But then, as he's looking, as he bobs his head back in the window, we see she's still there. Now then, I want to listen to this. Is my volume up? Yes. I don't know if she jumped off or if she flew away, but I didn't really listen. So I'm going to have a listen at this bit when she does this before she jumps off. Right. A minute. Oh, for God's sake, get on with it. Oh, for Pete's sake. Was it wings? I don't know. Or was it just the sound of the wind with her flying? Does she turn into a bat, basically? That's what I'm asking. Why did she just fly up to his window, though, then, instead of clambering up like Spider-Man? I don't know. But anyway. There was that sound, wasn't there, as like a wing flappy sound, or was it just the sound of wind? Anyway, she's going to see Owen. Because she knows now she hasn't got a companion, a daytime protector. She hasn't got a Renfield or a Billy from Fright Night. She needs one of them, doesn't she? So she goes into his window and she just opens it. But she can't come in. They've got to be invited, which is the title. Let me in, or let the right one in. That's why they can't just go into your house. So she wakes him up, Owen. Says, can they come in? And he doesn't say anything. She says, you've got to say the words. And he says, okay, you can come in. And she says, don't look at him. Don't look at her. And for some reason, she takes all the clothes off and gets into bed with him. But not for that reason. And I don't know what, I don't know. But she just lies with him for a bit. And then he asks, can we go steady? You become my girlfriend. And she says, basically no. And she says, I'm not a girl at some point. Because we know, don't we now, that she was a boy. But anyway, so it's woke. Anyway. But he says it's okay. And he says, well, does going steady mean anything that'll be different to how it is now? And he says, no, not really. He says, okay, then we'll go steady. But obviously I don't think she cares about going steady. She likes Owen, because obviously she's going to spend a long time with him, as she did with Thomas. But there's nothing romantic about it, in my opinion. She doesn't fly. It was her jacket flapping as she dropped. She said she flew. Or does she just clamber up and down buildings? There we go. She's left him a note. It's daytime, so she obviously went back home before sunrise. I must be gone and live or stay and die, says Abby, with her very ornate, cursive handwriting. It's another clue that she's very old, because they don't teach that in schools. Well, in this country anyway, in schools. Like from when I was at school, they used to teach a cursive handwriting, but we weren't allowed. We weren't taught to do the super, like that sort of handwriting, like my mother's handwriting. They just let you do your own thing, basically, didn't they? Anyway, when I was at school. Anyway, so there we go. Oh, the Romeo and Juliet, they're really rubbing it in, innit, is Matt Reeves. Anyway. There's Abby and Owen sitting in a tree. Anyway, she wrote it on the back of his now and later wrapper. Is that another clue? Now and later, he's going to be with her now and later. Forever. Right. Back. School trip. They're going to the lake to do some ice hockey. He's still reading Romeo and Juliet, look. Swatty little get. So, right, they're off and to do stuff, to play ice hockey. And apparently Kenny wants to throw Owen in the water, in the freezing water. But Owen has found the pole, oddly enough, that Thomas used. I'm presuming it is, because it's the only one that's not attached to the ropes. So I'm presuming it's the same one that Thomas used to put poor Jack. Was it Jack? I think it was Jack or Larry, can't remember. Into the water. He's going to make an appearance in a minute. One thing both films got right was the sadness of it all. Yes, it is a very sad and demure film, I suppose you could say. Is that the word? Dour, not demure. Dour. It's a dour film, isn't it? The sense of dread. I think the Swedish one is a bit more depressing, because it's got that 80s threat of nuclear annihilation hanging over, because they keep talking about Russia and stuff like that, don't they, in the Swedish version, that they might all get blown up at any minute. But this one's pretty sad as well. Right, so he's found that pole, so he's faffing about with that while everybody else is having fun. They're all skating, look. There we go, getting ready to play ice hockey. But there we go, here comes Kenny and his gang. Going to pick on him. Says, we're going to throw him in the water. He says, what are you doing with that? He says, I'm going to hit you with it if you try anything. He says, no, you're not. I'm going to take it off you and shove it up your ass. And so he goes to... we see that Mr. Zodik's watching him. And he goes to goes to step forward to get Owen, and he swings at him, bang, whacks him on the side of the head, and he didn't actually. Another bit of movie magic there. What he did, it's actually a composite shot. Cody Smick McPhee, or whatever the hell his name is, actually that's had a dummy, a big blue dummy, and he just whacked that in the head. And then they took that out, and the lad that played Kenny just did his thing and just went like that. And there we go. It looked like he really hit him at the side of the head. Anyway, he's hit him at the side of the head with a big metal pole and split all his earlobe, which we'll see in a minute. There he goes down screaming. Mr. Zodik comes over saying, hey, you lot. But then, before he has chance to go and intervene, we hear screams from the other side of the lake. There we go. So he's got to go over the other side. We're going to get to see what's happened with Kenny's ear. There we go. It's going to show us now. There it is. Look, ooh, it's all split open. Anyway, over to the side of the lake, they found the body of Jack or Larry. I think it's Jack, isn't it? Found the body of poor Jack with his arms sticking out above the. There we go. Sticking out above the ice. So they've called the police, obviously, so now they're there with their chainsaws, they're digging him out of the ice. There he is. There he is. That's his head and his rest of him. So, Then we cut to the principal's office. This was actually filmed in an actual principal's office in Los Alamos. So there we go. Principal saying, why shouldn't I suspend you? Or whatever. And he should have said they were bullying me. I've put up with this for ages and none of the teachers do anything. So I just hit him with a big stick. So if you want to suspend me or expel me, whatever, do it, woman. That's what I wouldn't say that. I'd just sit there like him. So they don't expel him or suspend him. We're keeping an eye on you. You're a smart kid. Right. What's happening now? I think she's on the phone. Yes, his mum, they're back home, and his mum, there we go, his mum's on the phone, trying to phone his dad, and but obviously got through to his dad's girlfriend. Justin says, the fifth wave is good, and if I stay, it's great also. Not seeing that one. I'm sure I've seen the fifth wave, but I can't remember what it's about. Can't remember. It does ring a bell. Anyway, she's on the phone, but she can't. He's not there. So then there's a knock at the door. She answers the door, and it's the policeman because he doesn't have a name. So there we go. So he's going door to door now in this apartment block because obviously Jack lived there. So now they're just questioning everybody. They sends sends Owen to his room because he don't want him to hear all the grisly details. So he looks out and he sees all the police are in Jack. We say he's Jack. His apartment, going through it. So anyway, and then he sees this. He sees Virginia there. She's looking up at him for some reason. Right, so he's sending messages to Abby, and then there's a knock on her door. So she goes to it, but she's really quiet because she's not going to answer the door. She looks through the people. She sees it's the policeman. There he is. They could have given him a name, couldn't they? Even just a first name or whatever. But you'd have thought they'd given him a name. But it's easy. But obviously, she doesn't answer the door, and he goes. He thinks, well, I'm moving on. Right. So he's doing his weight training now with his little skinny bloody arms. Weedy little git. So he's doing that. And then he comes out and he sees Kenny's about to get bullied now by his big brother. So we see his big brother come there, but goes picking on him. So that makes Owen smile. And we see that Kenny's big brother calls him little girl, and Kenny calls Owen little girl. So that's where he's transferring his bullying from his brother onto Owen. Anyway, so there we go. So that's where we see that Kenny's got his comeuppance, so to speak, for now. Right, so talking to Abby again on the climbing frame, and so he's telling her that I stood up to him and he had to go to hospital and all that stuff. I did what you said, and all that stuff. Is this where she kisses him? Yeah, she's kissing him now, but not romantically, in my opinion. Elias Koteas, Casey Jones. The Ninja Turtles, Casey Jones. What did he play? Did he play him? I didn't know. I only know him from this and The Fourth Kind. That's the only thing I've noticed him in anyway. Anyway, she kisses him on I think it's on the cheek. I don't know where it was, but as I said, I don't think she has any romantic feelings whatsoever. He might for her, because he's a young boy into young man. But I don't think she has for him. She just needs a companion and a protector to look after her, to go out and kill people for her, essentially, so she doesn't get discovered. Anyway, I says, do you want to go somewhere? So he's going to take her to the secret place. There we go, enter under penalty of death. And I don't know where this is really. It's like a boiler room or something underneath the apartment block. But He says the grown-ups don't know about this place. Well, somebody will, won't they? Surely there'll be a, what they call it, like a caretaker or something like that. I'll know about it. But anyway. But anyway, so he brings her down. So it's this secret place. This kid that used to live in the building used to go go there with his mates and drink and smoke. And then when they weren't around, he used to play ping pong with Owen, and he really liked it. But then he moved away. And by the way, whenever you see Tack, that is Cody Smith McPhee's graffiti name. Don't know why, just is. And Matt Reeves was saying he's really good at graffiti. No, he ain't. He just written Tack on the wall. Not seen him with spray paint cans and giving it all that, but anyway. Oh yeah, that's why the name was so familiar. Go Ninja Go. I've seen a couple of them Ninja Turtles films, but I don't remember seeing him. But anyway. So here we are. So she puts some music on. So there's obviously power in this place. She puts some music on and they have a little, a bit of a dance maybe. And then he says, I know, close your eyes. I know what we're going to do. Let's do a pact. And so he cuts his finger open with his fake knife. And, because it makes me cringe. People get heads chopped off and stuff like that. And, torn limb from limb. But you see, fingernails or little cuts like that freak me out. Anyway, so obviously she gets a sniff of the blood and she drops down to the floor and then starts lapping it up and he's like, what the? And she looks up at him and there we go with a scary vampire eyes look and he's like, I'd have weed myself. Never mind when bullies were getting me at the beginning of that film when he peed himself. I'd have peed myself now. See that? If I were him. Anyway, and then she says, go away, in like in Michael Jackson's Thriller, a bit like that, to be honest. See if it does. I've probably gone past it. In a minute. For God's sake, whenever you want stuff to happen quickly, it never does it? Go away. Go away. In my head, it sounded more like Michael Jackson. Anyway, so he goes running off. No, she goes running off. That's it. She bolts out the door, and there she goes and CGs herself up this tree. There she goes. Turns into a CG thing, and up she goes. And she just sits there for a bit because Virginia and Larry are on the way. Here they come. There we go. They're arguing again. There we go. Virginia, they've obviously had another row. She's out walking the dog. And she just walks under. They don't notice her up there because, nobody's got peripheral vision. Don't see a person up a tree. And she just drops down. So it must be like, is it square? Something like that. Drop on somebody to get them. An aerial attack square. Or L2 or something. I don't know. So she drops down on Virginia, there she goes, and gets her and starts attacking her and biting her. The dog's trying to intervene and all that. But Larry comes, I'm saying Larry, there you go. He says, what the, in capital letters, no doubt, no less, and drags her off. Anyway, she just runs off, so obviously, and Virginia's not dead. So he's saying, somebody phone 911. And so he's watching, and then they're taking Virginia away in an ambulance, so she's off to hospital. So he goes round to see what's going on. No, not yet. He goes to check on his mum. I thought his mum were actually dead. I thought she'd either drunk herself to death or taken some pills or something. With the stress of it all, but she's just passed out drunk. So obviously he's saying mum, and she's not answering, so he's got to look after himself. So he phones his dad. So he's talking to his dad, and his dad is actually Elias Koteas. Doing the voice of his dad. Think of that what you will, but I think they've got another actor. So because she's been a vampire in this and a werewolf in Dark Shadows. What's your werewolf in that? I've seen it, but I can't remember what happens in it. All I remember is Johnny Depp is that vampire in that, isn't he? But I can't remember. Can't remember. Anyway, he's talking to his dad, and then he's asking about evil, because now he's thinking that Abby's evil, because he's seen her true nature now. We know she's a vampire. So he's saying, can people be evil? And he says, there you go. And he says, is this from your mother? With her, she's been putting all your religious stuff and onto you. But so get her to phone me. Put her on the phone now, he says. And he says, she's not here. She's passed out drunk. He don't say that. He just says she's not here. Oh, like that. Like that. And he says, have her call me. So he says, okay, love you, Dad. He says, okay, son, everything will be sorted out, don't worry, and all that jazz. So anyway, sorry about the last couple of months. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. So bye. So, right. So he goes to see Abby now. Right. And is this... Has she come to see him? No, he's gone to see her. And he says, can I come in? And then he says, you have to say it, even though he's not a vampire. So I don't get it. So he says, you can come in. Whatever. So he goes in, and I think he asks if she's a vampire. That one in the original script. I can't remember what he asked her originally. But they decided to, I think one of them, I can't remember which one, it might have been him, says, shall I just ask her if she's a vampire? And I said, yeah, we'll do that. So that was the last thing they decided to do. And they kept it in. And I can't remember what he was supposed to ask her. I don't know. I don't know what he asked her. Anyway, so she doesn't say she's a vampire. She just says, I need blood to live. And he says, how old are you really? She says, 12, but I've been 12 for a really long time. So I think he asks, where's your dad? And she says, he wasn't my father, he wasn't my dad. And then he goes over and looks at all this stuff on here, and we see all these different puzzles that she likes, because she likes doing puzzles. There's one of them that we've seen looks a bit like I forgot what they call it now. The thing from Hellraiser, kind of reminds me of that a bit. But we see the little puzzles, and then they see that there. Oh, that was what we were holding earlier on, wasn't it? When she went into Thomas's room, I said, get out, basically. He were holding something. I think it was that, wasn't it? We learned that was a photo strip that we're going to see. He picks it up. He's going to show us. There we go. Of her and Thomas when he were her age. So it's repeating itself, innit? It's repeating itself. She needs a new protector, a new young man to look after her. So there we go. Anyway, so he wants to leave now, and he says, what are you going to do to me? He's thinking she's going to kill him, but she lets him go, because, And then he says, look, I told you she says that, I told you we couldn't be friends. So, but anyway, they still are. Right, the policeman is going to go see Virginia. There's Larry and Virginia. They put 6 pints of blood into her. But anyway, and it's not working. So he wants to talk to Larry, but while he's talking to Larry, Virginia wakes up and she looks at the blood, where they're putting blood into her. Look, her eyes have gone all vampire-y. So she's got the thirst. And he's asking, have you seen this man? It's obviously Thomas, John Doe. It's like that's supposed to be like a birthmark. I never noticed that. But anyway, I don't know. But anyway. So he's saying, yes, he looks like a fella that lived near us. And he's saying, did she have a daughter and all that? I said, well, I didn't see him that many times. But anyway. So that's his clue that they live in that apartment block. Right, so anyway, the nurse goes in to check on Virginia, and she doesn't notice this going on. Virginia's drinking her own blood, and but she goes to the window, does the nurse, to let a bit of light in. There we go. She opens the curtains, and then the light goes on to Virginia. This is all CG, CG enhanced. Really, she was just like, look normal. She had a bit of blood round her mouth. Everything else you see, she contact lenses in. Everything else you see, CG added as she bursts into flames. Ah! In a minute, there we go. The nurse goes over, And all fire starts. Ah! And I thought all this was CG, and it isn't. Some of it is, but it has a real, there's like a base, real fire effect, where they did set it on fire, but they enhanced it with CG. I think they did it better in the original, to be honest. This one, because it looked more brutal and raw in the original. It just exploded in flame, didn't it? But anyway, Sci-Fi Quest says, hard to believe, but Chloe was also in 2005's The Amityville Horror. She's one of the kids. She must have been. Yeah, she must have been. One of the Lutz kids. Or was she the demon? I forgot the name of the demon. What do they call it now? I can't remember. It's a while since I've seen it. It's not very good. It's only worth watching for the babysitter. Anyway, so Virginia's obviously she turned into a vampire because she got bit and survived, didn't she? So she's burning up, and the poor nurse as well. Right, so what's happening now? Oh, we're reading on the news about it from Kendra Delap in Los Alamos. She's telling us all about what happened. The 5-alarm fire went off. What's a 5-alarm fire? I don't know. But you only need one. Anyway. Right, so there's a knock at the door. I think his mum's out. I think we saw him, actually. He's getting... there we go. There we go. Meeting with the lawyer. So there's a pie in the oven. So he's been cooking for himself. He's going to show it. It shows him getting it out of the oven. So he can look after himself. There he is. Look, bless him. Doesn't look very appetising, does it? But never mind. Knock at the door, and it's Abby. And there you go. You have to invite me in. And he says, well, what happens? She was Chelsea. Oh, so she was one of the Lutz kids. I can't remember. What they call it was a little girl in the remake of Amityville Horror, but in the original it was the pig, wasn't it? I can't remember what they called it. It's a tip of me too. Anyway. Nothing weird ever occurs in Los Alamos. No, don't. I don't know. Never been. Bob Lazar worked there, didn't he? Apparently. Anyway, you have to invite me in, she says. And he says, well, what happens if I don't? What if you just walk in? Or is there a barrier stopping you? So it shows us. So she just walks in. And then we see she starts freaking out a bit. That's juddering, and we see all blood starts coming out of her, and from her feet as well, it seems. Good job they've got parquet flooring, isn't it? Not carpet. But basically she's bleeding from everywhere. There we go. And he says, oh, you can come in. I think all that blood is CG. There's another bit later on as well, where so there's like a VFX thing on the Blu-ray, and there's a bit later on where we see her, and she's hugging, what's his face, Owen, and all the blood on the CG, and I'm thinking, why? Why did they just paint blood on? But anyway, whatever. They must have had money to burn. But anyway, he says, you're fine, you can come in, and then she stops bleeding. So they're saying, would you have just kept bleeding? Would you have died? And I don't think she knows, but she says, I knew you wouldn't let me. She's got her feet under the table now, hasn't she? But anyway, so she says, put her in the shower. She's in the shower cleaning up. I presume he scrubbed the floor. Presuming. I think he's putting the clothes in a bin bag as well. Yes, he's getting rid of her clothes. So already he's doing what Thomas had done. Already he's looking after her. He's put a record on, listening to some music. And she comes out of the shower, and he says, take one of Mum's old dresses. There you go. So in she goes. And this is where I think he sees, her scars that we got a glimpse of in the Swedish version. But we just see his reaction. He looks, and he kind of gets a weird look, as though he's seeing something he shouldn't have seen, not just, lady parts. But anyway, so there we go. That's according to Matt Reeves, that's what he said. He's seen, her scars, even though we don't see them. in the film. There we go. She's got her dress on. Right. So. Then Mum arrives. She comes in with, "Honey, I'm home." So she goes running through to his bedroom and she jumps out the window and, clambers across, or flies, I don't know, whatever, to her room. So they're all smiling. Look, oh, that were close. Ha ha ha. We're all happy, and and all that. But she's thinking, ha ha ha. I have my new companion because I'm evil. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy, is this, for Owen? Anyway, so his mother's passed out again, drunk. So he's going out. You know where our children are. Is that the name of a show? At 10 p.m. Or do they say that at 10 p.m. they're asking on the TV? I don't know. But anyway. What's he doing? I don't know. I've actually forgotten. This might be the bit where I fell asleep. Remember at the beginning I nodded off. I know watching this earlier. What's he doing? I think this is the policeman arriving, I think, is it? Yes, the policeman has arrived and he's looking at the mailboxes and he looks up and sees the windows. So there he is. So he's going to go in. Yes, he'd gone next door to look after her because he's the new Renfield, Jonathan Harker, whatever. That was a thing the TV asked. All right, so it wasn't the name of a show at 10 p.m. Dear. Like Wait Till Your Father Gets Home. That was another show. Remember that cartoon? I used to like that when I was a kid. I haven't seen it for years. I wonder if it's on YouTube. Anyway. There he is. He's sleeping on the floor in Abby's apartment. They've got the same flooring, look. So must all the apartments must have the same parquet flooring. But anyway, so he's there asleep with all her puzzles and stuff, and then we see that there's a puzzle there with a note that we're going to see in a minute. Just to remind parents, they had kids. Parents, A, they had kids, and B, they should check on them. Yes. Anyway, bloody kids. That's the one that reminded me of the thing from Hellraiser. It looks nothing like it, but anyway, I got that vibe. So there we go, more of her old-fashioned cursive writing. Hi, Owen, good morning. I am in the bathroom. I am in the bathroom. I went to scroll then. I went to use my scroll wheel to scroll down the letter. Never mind. Please do not come in. Want to hang out with me again tonight? I really like you. See, it's all very awkward, isn't it? Because she doesn't mean it. Love Abby. None of this, like we were earlier on, Abby and Owen. Kissing, is there? No, because she knows now. She's got claws in him. She's evil. Anyway, there's a knock at the door as he's reading that. So he goes, he tries to sneak. Obviously, doesn't want to answer the door. There we go, looks through the people. The policeman is back again. And he takes a step back. There's Owen, and he makes the floorboard creak. As he steps back, there he goes, he says, "Open the door," because he hears it. So he knows somebody's in there. There's the policeman. He says, "Open the door, this is the police." And then he kicks the door in. Owen runs off, kicks the door in, and goes, "Police, coming in," and all that stuff. And Owen's hiding there. Luckily, he doesn't come in this room. He just points his gun in it and then walks off. Owen's hiding under the counter there. So off he goes, looking round. He steps on one of the trinkets or whatever. That's what he's looking at. Then he pulls some of the coverings off the windows, and he sees that's her trunk. I think that's what she normally slept in. I think because there's like pillows and stuff in there. But she's in the bathroom at the moment for some reason. That's me. But we see there's some clues for the detective to see. There we go, he pulls that off, and there we go. Driving licenses, wallets, jewellery from all the people that Thomas has killed to keep Abby alive. Nothing romantic about it. Door and Corners, kid. That's where they get you. Yes, Door and Corners. Always check your corners. Yeah, so seen, so obviously that's a clue. So he knows now that these have got something to do with the missing people, probably a lot of missing people in the area. And he sees the note, so he has a read of that. There's Owen watching from the shadows. So he goes to the bathroom. There we go. Down the bathroom, down the end of the hall, because she says in the note, "I'm in the bathroom." So he goes in, checks it, and we just see that there's just a bath with lots of blankets and stuff over it. So he pulls up the blankets. That's what I'm trying to say. Hang on. And he sees she's lying there. Oh, for God's sake! There she is. Sees Abby's lying there in the bath. So he pulls up some of the thing off the window, and it starts wakes her up, starts burning her, and Owen goes, "No, stop!" And then he turns round as the copper and says, "Jesus, kid, there we go, you scared the life out of me," etc. But before he can say that, Abby jumps on him. There we go, and attacks the policeman. As Owen watches in horror. So she's getting him, and he's all screaming and all stuff. And they go, "No!" And there's all blood spraying, and then she feeds on him. There we go. We see more blood splatter. There we go. She feeds because she's evil. Never mind romance. Bloody hell. She's a proper vampire. None of this sparkling shit. Anyway, so he looks round the door to see what's going on, and he's not dead yet, and he reaches out to him. There's the policeman, and I thought we were going to help him, but he doesn't. He just goes to the door handle and closes the door so she can finish feeding, because she's got her claws in him. Used her vampire wiles. Maybe she hypnotised him. I don't know, like Dracula does. Anyway, she comes out, and he can't listen, He can't listen to what's going on. But this is where she comes out and puts her arms round him, and it's in this bit. No, it's in this bit. Must be another bit where it must have been earlier on when the blood were coming down her face, and that was CG. Well, just paint it on her. But anyway. Right, so, it's where she says, "I'm going to have to leave now." There we go, "I have to go away." So he goes, "Okay, fair enough." And gives a little kick, all, blood on his, for God's sake. So he goes home, so he thinks that's it. She's leaving now. Where's she going? I have no idea. Not like the Jar Jar sparkly glowy light Twilight. No, they're not. Jar Jar. So she's leaving now. She's obviously just phoned a taxi, and now the taxi driver's carrying her trunk, bringing it in. I don't know where she's going. Doesn't tell us. Is this vampire taxi drivers that just come out? I don't know, but she gets in the taxi. Still no shoes on. I still don't understand why she don't wear shoes, but and drives off, and he thinks that's the last he's going to see of her. But she obviously doesn't go far, because we're going to see her again pretty shortly. And we see back down in the secret place that tack and all that stuff that the grown-ups don't know about. We see that there we go. The policeman's been dumped in there. So I don't know. Has she tunnelled the wall out and shoved him in the wall? I don't know. Why is he there? I don't know. So has she dumped him there, or did they do it together? I don't know. Have they dumped him, or did Owen tidy up after her? I've no idea. But he's there. So remember, the grown-ups don't know about this place, so I'm guessing they won't find him for a while. But anyways, that's where he is. They should have him still alive. He should have opened his eyes, shouldn't they? She didn't kill him. She just turned him into a vampire. Maybe he does. I don't know. No, I don't. No, I don't. Never mind. Right. Vampire Taxi. A TOYG film coming mid-2025. It's more like a game, doesn't it, than a film. Anyway. Right, what's happening here? I can't remember. Where are we? Some frosted windows. Oh, he's looking out on the. Oh, and he's crying. Oh, and I was watching this bit and I'm thinking, is he really crying? He's one of these actors that can cry on demand, because his tears look a bit waxy to me. But the trails they leave look a bit waxy, don't they? That don't like it. That's bloody candle wax. That's not a tear. But anyway, whatever. He's a good actor. He's crying because she's gone. She's gone up the road because she's called Abby, so she's gone up the Abbey Road. Anyway, right, back at school. Some time has passed. Don't know how much. Maybe a day or two, I don't know. Has he still got his scar on his cheek? I don't know. I can't really tell. Anyway, Mr. Zorik is going to tell him there, we're going to do the pool. We're going into the pool. I think he's healed up, hasn't he? So some time must have passed. Maybe a week or so, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, I'm just guessing. I don't know. Today we start in pool, okay? Okay. And then we see his scrawny, bloody... Look. I'm only jealous because I'm not... Oh, for God's sake. There we go. I'm not scrawny like that. I wasn't even scrawny like that when I was a kid. Anyway. So, this kid says, hi, Owen. And he goes, oh, hi, thinking, one of Kenny's mates is being friendly, but he's not, 'cause he's going to go out there and say, is he... So all Kenny and his mates and his brother, they've got all petrol cans and they're setting fire to a dumpster outside. Anyway, he's teaching Owen how to swim. So he's doing the 1, 2, 3 breath and all that stuff. So that's what he's doing. I'd have just sunk straight to the bottom. Anyway, Josh Temple's here. Sorry for being... Could have done with your harpoon earlier to deal with this bloody evil Abbey. Romantic. I don't know. So, he's teaching him how to swim. And anyway, Kenny and his gang, or somebody from it, comes in and says, there we go, Mr. Zorik, there's a fire. Oh, it's him. There's a fire in the dumpsters. So he says, right, I'll be right back. So he goes down. They lock him out. They go in and say, everybody out the pool. For some reason, they switch the lights off. Don't know why. They just do. For atmosphere, probably. Tell everybody to get out. Owen runs into the changing rooms, but they grab him. Look, he's got his knife, look. And they don't stab him because they just get him. They drag him back to the pool and they drag him on his back. And you actually see later on he's got all scratches and stuff. She is evil. She's not evil, she's just misunderstood. She's evil. She's an evil vampire. She has no soul. Anyway, so they're trying to basically drown in him. So he's here now. He's Kenny's brother, and he says, he grabs hold of Owen and he says, if you can hold your breath for 3 minutes, I'll just give you a little nick on the cheek. But if you can't, I'm going to take your eye out. An eye for my brother's ear, so to speak. Not her fault, they haven't invented true blood yet. So that's what he's going to do. There we go. So 3 minutes he got to hold his breath. But while they're holding the breath, something occurs. There we go. He's under the water, and then a commotion happens. They look up, they hear like a roar or a screech or something like that in a minute. Here we go. I think it's this bit. Somebody's arriving. There we go. But poor Owen's under the water, thinking he's Deagle. And we see stuff happening. Look, people are being dragged about, and somebody's his brother's Kenny's brother's arm. We see he's got severed because loads of blood starts coming down. There it is, and then we see a head. Hang on. We see a head go by and other stuff. Hang on, it misses out all the best bits, doesn't it? Somebody's head floats by. I think it's the brother, I think. They're going to show it. There we go. I think that's his brother, isn't it? His head goes by anyway. And then we see Kenny. He comes by. He's being dragged upside down. And he actually really did this. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. This is the actor that plays Kenny. I forgot his name. Dylan. I can't bloody read. Minette. They actually did it 10 times. They dragged him through the water 10 times. I've pressed the wrong button. Overdone. There we go. Dragged him through the water 10 times. And every time he says, do I have to do it again? A trooper. But anyway. So there we go. So she's murdered all these people. I know they were bullies. And you see he's all cut up. Look from where they dragged him in. And she gets out. And we don't see her face. We just see her feet come down all covered in blood. And he just looks up at her. And she's like, yep, you're mine now. Anyway. Wingrace says Christian Slater should have interviewed her. Or should interview her. Yes, he should. Before... I forgot the name now. Tom Cruise gets him. Anyway. But he's looking up at her, with adoration. And she's probably smiling down at him with evil, blood-dripped fangs. But anyway, so there we go. So she saved him. But now he belongs to her now, and he's going to leave home, leave his mother, who's in a stupor. His father's, God knows where his father is. So he's just going. So he's on a train now. So we see he's on a train. He's got a ticket. She's in there. The trunk. Don't know how he got it on there, because he's a weedy little freak, isn't he? Didn't see him do much of his weight training, did he? But I bet that were her idea as well. I bet she says you should do to get some weight training in at school, because you'll have to be carrying. She won't have said this, but she'll be thinking, because he'll have to be carrying me trunk about. Anyway, so gets his ticket. He says, "This trunk yours?" And he says, "Yes." And then we hear a knock from the trunk, so he knocks back, and there we go. They're off. Where they're going, who knows? But he's he's the new companion. He's the new Thomas. I wonder if they'll go and get a strip of photos taken at some point. And then does the eat now, save some for later, which is a jingle from an advert for the now and later sweets. And that's where it ends. There we go, the end of the film. What's happening now? Am I just landing on blank areas? Yes, I think I'm just landing on white areas, aren't we? No writing on. There we go. Oh dear. Anyway, whatever. So there we go. Cool film. I don't think what happens. I don't think there's an after credits scene. Not that I've noticed. No, there ain't. Right, so there we go. That's the end of Let Me In. A really, really good vampire film. I do like it, but I do think she's evil. And I don't think it's romantic whatsoever. I think she does have some feelings for Owen. Like she had feelings for Thomas, but not in a romantic way. They probably had at the beginning, but Thomas probably did when he first met her. But anyway, but I don't think it'll last very long. But they should do a sequel. Maybe there is. I don't know. Did he write more than one book? This Lindqvist fella. Is there other stories in the thingamabob? Anyway. So there we go. That's the end of Let Me In. And watch Let the Right One In as well. Anyway, Sci-Fi Quest says, do you remember that vampire show called Ultraviolet? I remember a film called Ultraviolet. There was a show as well, wasn't there? Yes, there was. I didn't see it, but I do remember there was a TV show. But there was a film, wasn't there, with Resident Evil, Mila Jovovich, called Ultraviolet. That was a vampire one as well, wasn't it? It's your favourite love story. Yes, it is. Yes, remember the movie with Mila. Good movie, tragic movie of survival. It's tragic for Owen. I mean, she's wanting to survive, isn't she? But I don't think she's good. I don't think she's good. She was lucky that there were a young lad living next door. because she would have been in trouble. But I wonder where she went in the taxi. Wonder where she obviously didn't go far because she came back, didn't she? But I wonder where she went. Anyway, so there we go. So that's the end of Let Me In. Give it a watch. I'm sure it's on a streaming service somewhere. And watch Let the Right One In as well. They're both good films worth watching. And read the book. I've not read it, but I'm sure that's good as well. I wonder how this would work in the modern age. Because as I say, it was set in 1983, wasn't it? I don't know. I suppose it'd work similarly, but they just have phones, wouldn't they? Cell phones. You'd have to find some way of, I don't know, writing in modern technology. Speaking of modern technology, I see Elon Musk is making robots now. Unbelievable. But anyway, probably use Tinder to lure food. Yes. Swipe left or whatever it is. I don't know. I've never used it. But yes, probably. Right, we're done. We'll leave it there. What's coming up next? On Monday, hang on. Her as well. She's not completely evil, I think she is. She's somewhat because of her methods, but it's her nature as a vampire. She has to. Yes, I know she has to survive, but I'm not saying that's good. I know she has to survive. It would be like Abigail. That was a good film. That I liked Abigail. Anyway, what's coming up next? Monday. We're doing Ghostbusters 1 on Monday for Magnificent Monday, so that should be fun. Next Friday's Appointment with Fear is going to be the Clifton House Mystery. Scared the willies out of me as a kid did that. But anyway, so that's what's coming up next week. Right. I might do Let the Right One In over the weekend. Or I might not. It depends how busy I am. Got a lot on. But we'll see. Josh Temple had a crush. I had such a crush on Mila. I like Mila Jovovich. She's lovely. She's beautiful and all that, but she needs to eat a few pies. I like a bit of meat on me women. Anyway. Double feature Ghostbusters. No, there's only one Ghostbusters film. There's only one. Not doing Ghostbusters 2. Ghostbusters 2 is just essentially Ghostbusters 1. It's not as good. But it's not Ruby. But anyway, there we go. So we'll leave it there. So thanks Sci-Fi Quest and Josh Temple and Justin 34 and Win Grace. And we also had at the beginning, oh God, I forgot your name. I'm a horrible person. Adrian James. Oh, Adrian James popped in. Oh, there he is. Good evening. Sorry, Adrian James, didn't notice you. And Baby Ender Dragon. Yes, I can never remember that. Was in at the beginning. Right. Let the Right One In is good also. Yes, it is. It is just as good as Let Me In. But, different. A different style of filmmaking. Let Me In's a bit more glossy, innit? A bit more Hollywood. But Let the Right One In's a bit more gritty. And low budget. Because it's Swedish. And they didn't have $20 million to spend. Okay, great as always. Pow! It shouts at me. Take care. See you again soon. Yes, I've got Tomb Raider to watch as well. The animated Tomb Raider on Netflix. So I'll be doing a review for that at some point. If I finish it. Anyway, yes, like and subscribe. Do all that stuff. Let's put the thing back up. There we go. Like and subscribe. All that jazz. If you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, fair enough. Can't please everybody. But anyway, yes. Wingers says, take care all. Go and have nightmares. No. We'll leave it there. So, thanks for watching. Don't have nightmares, no matter what Wingrace says. But, he can cause nightmares, being a pan-dimensional mega being. Anyway. And they cancelled Terminator, I think. The animated one. I didn't get past the first episode, to be honest. But anyway, have a wonderful weekend. And if there's any more auroras about, take some photos and put them on the interwebs. It's the end of the world, isn't it? We've got aurora down as far south as Italy. I think they were saying, weren't they? Elon Musk's building robots. He's going to launch his spaceship over the weekend, apparently, again. And and the world's blowing up and all that stuff. Anyway, yes, take care, everybody. Right, don't have nightmares. Hang on, they were down here in Carson City, North Carolina. See, yes, I did a video. I put a video on me thing of what we could see from my back garden. Right, we'll leave it there. So, thanks for watching, wherever you are. Don't have nightmares, and until next time, I'll see thee.